Please, just wait. I just need some minutes from you right now. Please, Jesus Christ. Could you believe that all along that my bloodline was the royal divine bloodline? Listen very carefully. There's something I need to tell you that I promise you will never hear from anybody anywhere else in this lifetime. Do you know that? Have you heard of these people called Anam people in Nigeria? Somewhere in Anambra. Have you heard about them? Do you know that while I was growing up, I was so sickly that therefore that I fell on the ground and then but I didn't totally lost consciousness. I was in the ground at the same time still aware of what was happening at the same time. It felt like I was forgetting. And then I was surrendered by with about 7 people. I couldn't see their face, but I was surrendered with about 7 people manipulating me. When I was a baby, I think I should have about 5. In fact, before even my birth, I've been going through a lot of sickness that has no cure. That even doctors don't even know what is wrong with me. They can't do anything. I didn't know I was being manipulated by my own fellow bloodlines. Now let me tell you something. Have you heard about the man called Okakum? Okakum, I don't really know his good name, but I think it's his good name, Okakum, a Nigerian man in Anam place. That place called Anam. That man has this. He has the spirit of hippopotamus. You can imagine a human being like you having the spirit of hippopotamus. He turns into hippopotamus. His spirit turns into hippopotamus, going into the river, breathing in the river, while his body stays on earth, also breathing. But his body will not lose consciousness. His body will not be able to move, but his spirit will be moving through the hippopotamus. Can you just pause for a minute and think about it? A man, human being like you and I, turning into an animal, going into the river with the spirit of remembrance. After all exploring the river, he returns back with the spirit of remembrance. Let's think about it. Okay, then again, there was still a man also in the same Anamo, Anakpo, Gikawakpo, Naka. Yetago Naka, that is his name. I don't really know his good name, but we used to call him Naka back then. The story said that it was also the spirit of crocodile. It was also the spirit of crocodile. That it was also the spirit of crocodile. His soul is the spirit of crocodile. But he has entered the river, and then he has entered the river. He has entered the river with his soul and then totally forgot. Maybe he couldn't come back with the spirit of remembrance, and then he forgot. He forgot himself, and then his animal got lost. Yeah, his animal crocodile got lost. Then the animal became what is it called? A soulless spirit, that a spirit that doesn't have soul, which means the spirit doesn't have any shepherd anymore, because the soul of humanity is the shepherd of spirit of animals, and the spirit of animals are the are the are also the shepherd of the soul of humanity, making us in partnership. Listen very carefully. You will never hear this anywhere else. The soul of the soul of us who are the humanity, are meant to like to guide the movement of animals. Do you understand? I'm meant to guide the human. I'm meant to shepherd the spirit of animals. Why the spirit of animals are meant to return us back home to divinity, making us balance, making the soul of humanity and the spirit of animal in collaboration, in balance, like making both of them balance. So the people of Anam are the bloodline of river. 2 people turns into animal, and I believe there is more stories about that one truly. Now there was also a man called Augustine Ikim, right? I also heard his story. He was so powerful that he had to sacrifice his eyes for divinity, for power, for authority. And the story said that he was fully feared. He was very, very feared in Umudora Nam. He was really, really feared because his presence carries authority. But he was really feared in Umudoranam. Even now, today, saying that the day he died, it rained for almost a month. Non-stop. That man is a man of authority. They challenge themselves. So in Anamu, there are some of them who roams in the river, and there are some of them who roams in the land. There are some of them who roams in the river, there are some of them who roams in the land. Like Okakum roams in the river. Why did Augustine roams in the land to the extent that he possessed a lot of divine powers that he has totally forgotten the source of his powers. What I'm saying is not a story it may be something written in the Bible, but what I know, what happened in my community, you can ask people from Anam or people from Omodora, they will tell you Augustine came and Okakum, a man who turns into an animal, and then his soul remains on earth while his spirit moves in the river. Did you see the partnership of earth and river? Did you see it? Did you see it? This, my God, the soul of Okakum stays on the earth, consciously losing conscious while his spirit moves as hippopotamus on the river. Then when his spirit that moves in the water dies, he automatically dies on earth. When his spirit that dies on the river, he automatically dies. When the spirit that went into the river, or when his soul forgets that he has a spirit in the water, he automatically loses that spirit, and then the spirit becomes a lost animal, while his soul becomes a lost soul, while the spirit also becomes a lost spirit, making both of them in separation. Let me tell you something. The greatest forgetfulness begins in Anam. For why Anam people are so powerful to the extent that they possess divinity powers without knowing the source. They have forgotten the source. Why? Because they lack love in them. Anam people lack love. And there is not, because the root of remembrance is love. The root of divinity is love. But they possess the ability, meaning that they are fully known spiritually. And now people are well known. But the problem now is that they don't have love, making them forget themselves to the extent that they began to worship idols. Because imagine a being possessing a lot of powers, imagine yourself manifesting things from spiritual realm, knowing fully well that things that you yourself on your own, you are an authority, but you don't know the source. You can't remember the source. You can't remember how you possess all that power, and then making you begin to worship something and worship something, begin to fold idol, begin to worship idol, that you know that you even possess more authority than empty thing that doesn't exist, that doesn't even breathe. You begin to worship it, not out of willingness, but you want to submit to somebody because you don't know the source of your power. So you believe that somebody gave you the power, which is true. Now you need to submit to that person, because yes, power requires submission. You need to submit to that person, but now you've forgotten the person because you don't have love in you. Now people began to worship idol, giving the idol the respect they were meant to be given to the throne of holiness, because they've forgotten the source of their powers. And now people can manipulate people. They can use their spirit to manipulate you to this, and some of them, their soul will be going to church, be believing in the God Almighty. Meanwhile, their spirit is in chaos. Their spirit is is manipulating people here and there. Their spirit is blocking growth, blocking breakthrough for people. For why? The soul has forgotten its spirit. The spirit has forgotten the soul, making the spirit and the soul in separation, making it chaotic. But for them to be going to church, going to the Bible, but for them, their body, like going physically, going to church with the Bible, going to church, simply means they have forgotten that their spirit is destroying things. And then people, when they speak a word to you, or they do something, tie you, they can keep you locked down for years. You can't move forward, you can't move back. And then people knows how to manipulate. Those people are so powerful. Like they're so powerful in spirit to the extent that they don't know the source of their divinity. They don't know the source of their power. Ever since I've been growing up, I didn't even know that all along I've been facing sickness, that they were the one fighting against my being. Because we are the righteous part. We are the righteous part that are meant to remember. We are the ones who are written to remember. Why them are the generation that was written to forget, or that found themselves in the lineage of forgetfulness. But why are they then fighting us? Because I can remember my life was in chaos from birth till now I've grown up. Same with my junior brother. His life was also in chaos while growing up. So we were meant to be the one to remember the righteous part, the righteous cultivators. But them forgot the calling. They forgot everything, making them the dark cultivators, making them the manipulative cultivators. For why? Spirit, bro, I don't know how to explain it to you. I don't know how you're gonna understand this, alright? But I don't want you to skip this video right now. Now listen, Anam people is a community, not very large, very small, but they are big. They are too big to speak English. They speak the language of spirit. They speak the language of divinity. So they don't speak English. They don't like speaking English. They are not good at English because they are bigger than English, right? They speak the language of spirituality. In the realm of spirituality, there is nothing like English. Spirituality has a language. That is the language they speak. So making them they are not really popular in Nigeria, but deep down, heaven and earth recognize their presence, recognize their being. That is how powerful Anam people are. But now Anam people don't even know how powerful they are. They are forgotten. Anam people can stand in the spirit realm for you. You will never move forward in life. But now they don't know how to stand, they don't know how to make the way for you so that you move forward in life. But they can stand in the way for you, you can't move forward in life. That is the difference between a dark cultivator and a righteous cultivator. A dark cultivator only knows, has forgotten the righteous part, now only knows the dark side, whereby to block growth, to block financial freedom. They don't know how to do the right one again. They only know how to do the bad. The entire being and man are dark cultivators because they all lack love. There is no seed of love in a man. There is no love. Manipulation, separation, anger, malice, hiding, secrets. These are the things that are fluff in a man, bro. But there is no love, because when there is love, the path becomes righteous. But any cultivator or any spirit being without love is a manipulator, is a dark practice. Is practicing dark manipulation. Is practicing dark power. And that is why love is the root of divinity. As long as you have love in you, you are cultivating the righteous path. But once there's no love in you, you are a dark being. That is the difference. That's the difference between a dark being and a righteous being. Once a dark being is somebody who doesn't have love in him or her, but a righteous being is somebody who has love in him or her. That is it. Just simple as that. Because another people are full of power. Another people are full of power and authority in spirit realm. To listen that they don't know the source of their power, but they know they are possessed with divinity. They know they are possessed with divine power, divine authority. I'm making them now because authority requires respect. Authority requires bowing. Because now, imagine yourself realizing that you have the power to control things. You have the power to block somebody from moving forward financially or physically or anyhow. You have the power to block somebody when you say this person. You know how to do something, manipulate somebody, and the person will never move forward. And then it's not that it's a story, but indeed you are practicing it and it's happening. Alright? Now, you can't remember who taught you how to do that. You can't remember if anybody taught you. You can't remember when you learned it. And then making you to realize that this power came from somewhere. So therefore, that place that this power came from, the source requires respect. And now, because you don't remember the source, you began to carve idol by yourself, idol to worship. You began to worship idol. You began to worship idol all in the name of you want to pay respect to the idol. Imagine idol that is not even breathing. You are worshiping it because, of course, you have nothing else to do. That is the spirit of forgiveness. And once it hits your brain, you are gone. So now let me tell you something. The people of Fanam, those people deserve respect, bro. They deserve good respect, bro. They are like some of them roam. Some of them roam in the river, while some of them roam on earth. But all the same all are the same bloodline. Listen, let me make it very clear to you right now. Some of them in Anam, like I said earlier, imagine your fellow human being sitting on a seat, losing consciousness. You will be speaking to him. He wouldn't be there. Maybe he will be hearing you, but he will not be able to speak a word. His soul is there. His flesh is there, but his soul has left with the spirit. At that moment, his soul has united with his spirit animal in the river.